Hey, welcome to today's webinar. So glad you've chosen to join us. And we are going to be talking about AI tools for remodelers, especially looking at how you can boost efficiency and your prospecting. And so we're going to be really focusing on those places where you may have possibly said, I simply don't have time for follow-up, or I wish I had someone to write this email for me today. And so, in today, that's what this webinar is all about. And so, here's what you can expect today. We're going to look at some demos, we're going to talk about tools and strategies. And this is for remodelers who are ready to scale smarter. You don't have to be a tech expert today. You just need to be a smarter business owner, and that's what I'm here to help you do: is work smarter, not harder, work more efficiently. And so I'm glad you've taken a little time out to join me this afternoon. If you've never been with us on one of our webinars, a little introduction to who I am and why you may want to listen to me. My name is Carl Willis. I am the CEO at Remodeling Marketing Team. I've been marketing online since 1997, back in the dial-up days. I'm the author of Internet Marketing for Home Remodeling Companies, creator of the Marketing Classroom. I'm an international keynote speaker on business growth and lead generation, and am widely accepted as the go-to expert in internet marketing for home remodeling businesses. I'm also the host of the Digital Remodeler podcast. So if you've not been listening to that, become a listener and a subscriber. And I've worked with companies across the US and internationally in their digital marketing strategy and lead generation efforts. And one of the things that I always talk about anytime we get together on these trainings is I talk about your marketing ecosystem. And in this discussion of AI and how to use AI to make your life more efficient and how to let AI do some of the heavy lifting, AI is going to be a central component to this entire marketing ecosystem, whether that's your SEO, your PPC, your retargeting, your referral system, your social media. AI is going to be an integral part of everything you're doing in today's day and age. And I'm really going to work with you today on how to interweave AI into your entire process so that you're taking a lot of your time investment out and letting AI do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. And so, with that, let's go ahead and dive in and get into our conversation. We want to really start by answering the question why AI matters in remodeling today. You see, AI isn't just a tech fad. It's actually your new advantage in a highly competitive market. And remodelers who are using AI are winning by simply moving faster and delivering a much better experience for their customers. You see, AI is your new assistant. It's not your replacement. It's not going to replace you. It's actually going to amplify what you do and make you better. Here's the real threat: it's not AI replacing you. The real threat is doing business the old way while your competition leverages AI and runs past you. So, what you have to remember is that time, speed, and trust are the new currency in today's marketplace. And so people are expecting things to be done faster. They are expecting instantaneous communication, instantaneous answers to their questions. And of course, trust is always a key factor in everything that the consumer is doing. Now, let's talk about some of the common problems that you are currently facing: inconsistent lead follow up, late or forgotten replies to consumer inquiries, manual data entry, and lost notes. You wrote it down somewhere, you just can't find it in that pile on your desk or in your truck. No time for content or sales strategy. Some of those probably sound very familiar to you. I know on my desk, I've got a pile of things over here to the left of my computer, and sometimes I'm digging through it. Or even on my laptop, I've got a download file where I know it's on there somewhere. So you already know where things are falling through the cracks. What I want to show you today are just some simple, really kind of low tech ways to close those gaps using AI tools to make that happen and just to really simplify your life so that you're not inconsistent in following up with those leads. So you're not being late to replying to those customers or even simply forgetting that you're not losing your notes or you're having to do things manually, and that your content strategy and your sales strategy isn't just getting shoved off to the side, because if that's happening, then there's nothing filling your sales pipeline. So we want to help you overcome those things that in the long run end up hamstringing your business. So here's where remodelers tend to lose money on a daily basis, unfortunately. Number one, when leads are not contacted within 15 minutes, it ends up turning into lost deals. Unfortunately, we're in a instant response environment, and people are used to being served immediately. That's just the world we live in today. And where it used to be okay to take 48 hours to get back to somebody or 24 hours, anymore, if we're not able to respond really within 15 minutes, we end up losing deals. And so time wasted in quoting really means what we're left with is the low quality prospects. And so we really don't want to be left with those low quality prospects. We still want to be working with the best out there in the marketplace. And if we don't have any nurture, then what happens is our cold leads stay cold. So every delay and inconsistency in our follow up is going to cost us either in lost sales or in wasted time. And so AI tools are going to help fix this without adding another hire to your payroll. And that's the good news. We're not having to add another body to our weekly payroll. So, what I want to do is really go over in our next little section here an AI tool stack to make your life easier. So, I want to make this a very practical training for you. Really answer the question, okay, well, what things should I be, implementing here? And that's the question that I want to answer for you next, because we really want to help in this follow up process. So let's talk about the tool stack, the technology. There are four tools that we want to focus on today that are going to help you really close the gap here. Now, let me preface this by saying you don't need all of them at once, but using just even one of these tools can really make a huge difference for you immediately. So, the first tool stack that I'm going to bring up is, and I'm going to give you really a combination here, two of them, ChatGPT or Google Gemini. You could use one or the other, or you could use a combination of both. And actually, I'm going to add a third tool to this, and that's Claude. So you could use ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. And let me just, give you a little background here. So ChatGPT is OpenAI's AI system. Gemini is Google's AI system. Claude is Anthropic's AI system. Each one has its own unique strengths um, and its own unique use cases where you might prefer one over the other. So, what you're really going to use one of those three for is writing, emails, and scripting. ChatGPT is kind of the most widely accepted, most well known of these tools. It's what most people turn to for their writing, their emails, and their scripting. Gemini, being plugged into Google, has a really robust knowledge base because it uses Google's data. It's really come on strong here lately. And then Claude is a really good English language writing system. And so they work really well. One of the things I like to do is actually I like to use ChatGPT to do my initial outlining, my initial writing. And then I like to go over to Claude and have Claude fine tune it, make it sound a little more natural language. That's one of the things you can do. The other thing you could do is you could take Chat GPT, train it on some of your writing samples, some of your voice, and it'll start to sound just like you. Gemini does a great job as well. You're going to do okay with any of those. Just the quality of output depends on how well you train it. So just train it a little bit, give it some of your writing samples. If you've recorded some videos, take the transcripts just so it learns how you communicate and it'll sound more like you as it begins to write. But it works well, puts out great writing, great emails, great scripts, and use that to just knock content out very quickly. The second one is Zapier. And what Zapier is going to do is kind of tie things together. It's going to automate manual steps. Basically, if this happens, then do this next step. And so it's going to help tie things together for you. Now, Otter AI will take call notes, summaries, and it will sync up your contact management system. So, Otter AI is going to help you do that. There are also some other AI systems like that. If you're doing Zoom calls, you can use Fathom. Fathom's what I use because we do Zoom calls primarily, but Otter AI is going to work extremely well out in the field. And then Google Sheets plus AI will help you with smart quotes and reports. So Claude, uh, Gemini, and ChatGPT all import Google Sheets and Google Documents. And so they play extremely well in that environment. So let's start and talk a little bit about ChatGPT and Gemini, and we're going to break this down a little further. So this is our first tool. ChatGPT and Gemini. This is your content machine. And so, what you're going to use this for is to auto generate your emails, your quotes, your frequently asked questions. This is going to save you 2 to 4 hours a week in communication. And 2 to 4 hours a week is huge savings. And truthfully, it's probably going to save you more than that. I find in my work week, this is saving me probably closer to 8 to 10 hours per week and making me much more productive. And then you can use voice memos to generate written content, which will exponentially increase your savings in communication. Here's the great thing: if you don't know how to phrase something, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all of those will know how to do it. And if you need something rewritten to sound professional, they're all going to be able to do it and they will do it in seconds. One of the things I absolutely love about these tools, in my own personality, I am very blunt, direct, and to the point. And so I will often go into these tools and just simply say, Here's what I'm wanting to say. Help me to write it better, help me to say it better, and it will soften it. It will make it sound nicer, more professional, maybe be a little more, uh, softer in the delivery. Just creates a better output. So it's really well done. I will take scripts of calls that I've had with a potential client. I'll feed it in there and it will generate a great proposal based on that call. It will hit all of their uh, desired points that they want covered. It will hit all of the details that we've talked about in the services we want to offer. It will talk about any pricing discussions we've had. Does a great job of doing that. So you want to use this for your emails, your quotes, your frequently asked questions. Here's another place that I like to use this, and I want to encourage you to do this. Sometimes people will send you somewhat ambiguous messages and emails that you're not exactly sure how to respond to it, or it's a little passive aggressive and you need to respond to it, but you want to respond to it tactfully. These are great tools for that. I use this all the time when I've got a client where you can tell maybe they're just a little uncertain or maybe even a little dissatisfied with something. And we need to navigate through that, but we need to navigate through that with some tact. I will feed their message to me into GPT or Gemini or Claude, and I'll say, help me analyze their communication and then help me draft a response. And so I've done that. Or if you have somebody leave you a negative review on your Google business profile, again, it's another great way to do this. Hey, we got this review on our Google business profile. It's negative. Would you help me respond to this in a positive way as the business owner? And it will help you do that. So these are all great ways you can use these tools. But instead of you spending 20 or 30 minutes kind of grinding through it and writing something and scrubbing it out and writing it again, these tools will knock it out in about 90 seconds and you'll be done and you can move on to something else, clear the mental space, clear the emotional space, and be done with it. So that's tool number one. Tool number two that I mentioned is Otter AI. And Otter AI is going to turn every conversation into a documented asset. What it's going to do is really keep you from forgetting things. It's going to make that uh, an issue of the past so that every word is captured and organized. And so, what Otter does is it records sales calls or job walkthroughs and it auto transcribes and organizes those insights. And then you can sync it with your CRM or with your team. So I've given you an example here on the screen where it says, yeah, I think we should move forward with the plans. Let's start ordering materials and begin work next week. So that's the conversation that's taking place. Otter will then transcribe that. It's then summarized. It's then placed into the CRM or the project management system notes or dispersed to the team by email. Whatever the communication flow that you've designated is, that information is passed on accordingly the way it needs to be so that everybody is synced up and on the same page. Nothing is dropped, nothing is forgotten. Everything is captured the way it needs to be. So, this is one of the great tools you can use. As I mentioned in our organization, all of our calls with our clients are on Zoom, all of our calls with prospects are on Zoom. So, we use Fathom AI to record all of our conversations. But we do the same thing. We take the transcript notes are then summarized. Those summaries are sent to the client success team. They're also sent to the client, and then those notes are placed in the client file on our project management system, which is ClickUp. So we do a similar process in house with what we do. And then if it's for a prospect, those notes are placed on the prospect file in Go High Level. And so we use the similar type organization in what we do. Now, the third tool that we discussed is Zapier. And Zapier is going to make your tools talk to each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to automate the interaction of all of our tools, because what we want to do is we want to connect lead forms to our CRM and then to Slack or to our project management system. We want to route our leads instantly to our sales reps or our estimators. We want to trigger automated replies and alerts and tasks and assignments. And so what we're going to do with Zapier is we're going to automate lead assignment, task creation, reminders, and we can do that without having to write any code or create any kind of new software, because what Zapier is going to do is it's going to connect our tools to each other. So Zapier really is an integration platform, and it integrates thousands of different tools together. So, for example, in our, uh, you know, our office, we use ClickUp, we use Go High Level, we use Instantly. We've got all of our social media platforms. So, for example, if we have a lead that comes in through Go High Level, we could trigger a project on ClickUp that is then assigned to a certain client success manager. And that client success manager is then given a new file on a Google Drive. So we could create a series of events and projects that take place just by one action that's triggered on our Go High Level. And Zapier would make all of those things happen simultaneously. So that's the third thing we're going to do. We're going to use that to automate all of these processes so that nobody is having to go in and manually create each one of those tasks. It's all done automatically. So let me give you an illustration of what this might look like. So this is a warm follow-up using ChatGPT. And here's the scenario of how this might look. So a lead fills out a form or they leave a voicemail. So we put their info into ChatGPT and it generates a follow up that sounds like you actually wrote it personally. So the input is call notes from the voicemail or a form submission. And then the output is a personalized email that is sent within 15 seconds. So remember, speed to lead is critical in today's world. Anything over 15 minutes, that lead is essentially dead. And that's what statistically we're finding these days. So we want to get there as quick as we can. So that transcription of the voicemail comes in or that lead form gets submitted, and within 15 seconds we've got an email going out to that prospect. So this is an example of how this would work, because as soon as that lead form hits, Zapier is putting that information into ChatGPT. ChatGPT is generating the follow-up letter with that prospect's information in it, It is already pre-written to sound like you and is being emailed back out through your CRM to that prospect. Now, here's another example, another demo for you. And this is lead routing, again using Zapier. And in this illustration, we're going to show how you can route a lead without ever having to touch that lead. So the lead comes in through your website, they submit a form. Zapier reads the form and then notifies your team and updates your CRM. And this is all done within seconds. So the lead inputs their information on your website, submits their form. The output is a Slack alert to your team, plus an email, plus an update to the CRM that is all done within seconds. And then it is auto assigned to the team member based on the zip code of the lead or the service type being requested. And that's all done automatically based on this Zapier lead routing. And then let me give you a third example of how this can be done. And this is using Otter plus your CRM integration. So remember, Otter is going to record conversations. So in this case, we're going to use Otter during a discovery call, and then we're going to send the summary to your assistant or to your CRM. And this way we don't forget what the client or the prospect is asking us for. So we want to build trust by showing them that we remember everything that was discussed on the call. So we're going to use Otter to record, then transcribe, then summarize all of the conversation that took place during the call. Then we're going to use AI to pull out all of the action items, and we're going to send that to our assistant, or we're going to put that into our CRM. And then we're going to turn those recordings into documentation that will be input into our CRM, sent to our client or prospect, and also sent to the appropriate team members. That could be our sales team or our service department or the client manager, whoever's going to be responsible for working with that client or prospect. But that's all done because Otter recorded the call, transcribed the call, summarized the call. The action points were pulled from that transcript and summary, and then it was sent to the appropriate personnel in the appropriate departments. Now, what does this all mean for you? Well, ultimately, you're not just saving time, you're actually showing up sharper, faster, and much more reliable to the customer and to the prospective customer. And what that does is that wins you more jobs, more reviews, and more referrals. Ultimately, you're saving 5 to 10 hours a week, and time is money. You're not dropping balls anymore, and your professionalism really shows through, and that wins trust. And trust is the currency of today's marketplace. But when we're talking about this type of shift, obviously we always have to deal with objections and a shift in mindset. And so here's some objections that we probably need to address. You may be thinking to yourself, I'm not techie. Well, the truth is, you don't need to be. Your next objection might be, my clients don't care. Well, actually, they do. because they care about speed and trust. Like it or not, everybody wants it now. And you may be thinking it's too expensive. Well, most of the tools that I just talked about today start for free. They cost nothing. See, the real cost for you is doing nothing because these tools are actually made for non-techies. And in most cases, you're going to spend less than $50 a month or nothing at all. Really, all it takes is a few moments to set up accounts, maybe an hour to learn how to just navigate your way around the platform and get going. And quite honestly, you can generally find somebody to set these up for you and do it very quickly. Remember, this is all about your competitive advantage. AI doesn't replace you, it multiplies you. This gives you a better client experience without having to hire extra staff, and it's going to allow you to outpace slower competitors because you're not just keeping up, you're actually pulling ahead. And while others are still sorting through emails, you've already booked the job. While others are not yet returning phone calls, you've already communicated back and forth with that prospective client. You have the advantage because speed to lead wins. So let's talk about what you need to do next. Well, as I mentioned before, pick one tool to start with, just one, and test it. Try ChatGPT or Gemini or Otter this week, and then download the AI stack, and then schedule your strategy session with Remodeling Marketing Team because we'll show you how to really deploy AI to your advantage. We'll help you turn today's ideas into the actions that are going to grow your business because AI isn't just a thing that's happening, it is the direction of business. And you will either be the leader in your industry, in your market, or you'll be the one trying to play catch up. And so pick one tool, test it, start using it, and get familiar with it. Schedule your strategy session with us. And if you haven't downloaded our book, The Ultimate Guide to AI Tools for Home Remodelers, download it. It's on our website. It will give you a competitive advantage. But we'll help you turn those ideas into actions to grow your business. And if you haven't looked through our blog posts and our previous webinars on AI and how AI is being used in the search engines and in the competitive landscape, be sure and do that. We want to give you that edge. That being said, let's open it up for any questions. This is your chance to ask anything, and don't leave confused or uncertain. Let's talk about how these ideas can apply directly to your business. So if you've got any questions, drop those in the chat. I'll be happy to answer those for you. I'll give you just a few moments. Okay, it doesn't look like we've got any questions today. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. We'd love to schedule a strategy session with you at Remodeling Marketing Team. If what's been presented to you today has opened your eyes to what's possible with AI, let's get on a call and map it out. Here at Remodeling Marketing Team, we want to be your growth partner. And so you can schedule your strategy session with us. In this strategy session, we're going to show you really how to develop a full ecosystem, how to leverage what's happening in the marketplace today, how AI is really changing the way business is done and how people find you, and how Google is using its AI It's Gemini AI to not just control search, but actually recommend who is seen and who is recommended as the vendor of choice in your local market. And so you can set up your strategy session with us at remodelingmarketingteam.com/get-started, or you can call us at 888-350-7859. And this is a no obligation strategy session. We'll take a look at your current footprint, we'll look at your competition, and we'll lay out a roadmap for you. Real strategies customized towards your business. We look forward to talking with you soon, and I look forward to seeing you on our next monthly webinar. Hope you have a great day today. Talk to you soon.